Hi everyone, Noelle from My Interview Buddy here, and I want to talk to you guys about resume formats, which I know it's not the sexiest thing to talk about on, at the end of the day, but it's really important because there's all these different formats that are out there, and I'm sure a lot of you are aware, but when you send a resume out through, the internet and all these different platforms, there's a chance that your resume could be missed if you're using the wrong format, and there's a chance that somebody will see your resume and they don't want to read it and you don't know why. So having the right format really makes a big difference. And there's all these new resume rules that are coming out and you may not be sure what's the right thing to do. So I'm just going to go over the three major types of resumes and kind of walk you through which one might be the right one for you. Now, we're talking about kind of standard American resumes. I know different countries really go more towards the CV side. I'll definitely get into CVs on another live, but this is really specific to American resumes. So there's three major types. First we have chronological, then we have functional, and then we have hybrid. So chronological is what you're pretty used to seeing. This is your job history in reverse, wherever you're working now or down to the job before that, and then whatever your daily duties are, or just the general duties. If your daily duties has way too much information, we want to keep everything on one page if we can. So the reverse chronological is just where you're capturing what you basically do and highlight some of the things that you think are the most applicable to a job that you're applying for. So this resume is really good for just about any role because it really just highlights whatever you do. It's really clear what your responsibilities are and it's clear what your skills are. Normally it's your job history, then your skills, then your education and anything additional that you want to add, like volunteer experience, anything that seems like it's really good for this particular role that you're applying for. The second type, which has become more and more popular, is called the functional resume. So the functional resume, or the skill-based resume, which is also called, is really just based off of what your skills are. So this is going to be, you have an objective statement or a profile, which is something that you don't need on a reverse chronological resume. But you'll have an overview of yourself and what you're looking for and what you bring to the table. And then you're going to go over your top skills that you'll be able to apply to this position that you're applying for. So you really want to keep it down to maybe 4 to 5 skills. Normally in a reverse chronological resume, you'll just list a couple of bullets of whatever your skills are. In a functional resume, you're going to be focused on what that skill is, and you're going to write a couple of sentences about why, about what skills you have, or a little bit more about your experience with this skill. So whatever accomplishments or achievements that you've made with this skill, if you hit a certain sales goal and your skill is sales, that's where you're putting in that information. It doesn't matter from which job you develop those skills from, you're just talking about what skills you have. So this is really great for if you have a lot of gaps on your resume or in your work history. If you, maybe you were a stay-at-home parent and you're just going back into the workforce, if you were, if you're a veteran and you're going into civilian life, there's lots of different examples. But if you have a gap on your resume or you're transitioning roles that doesn't really make a lot of sense for the position that you're applying for, the functional resume is a good choice for you, or a better choice than chronological if you're really nervous about that gap. But the issue with the functional skill-based resume is that people who get resumes are not used to seeing them all the time, so they don't really love it. Because right at the bottom of a functional resume is where you're putting the job that you worked for, your title, and the year. And there's no duties, it's because the structure is completely different than what they're used to looking at with seeing hundreds of thousands of resumes. They look at yours and they're like, what is this? It takes them a beat to get through it. And that's not always what we want to do to people. Also, if you're not using the right keywords, it's not going to be able to get through the bots, and you want your resume to get seen. So that's something that you really need to think of. So what do you do then? You know, you have your gaps on your resume and you really want to be able to get a great job. Functional sounds like it would be a great fit for you, but you want it to get seen. You don't want to make anybody angry with you. So what do you do? This is where the hybrid or combination resume comes in. So this is where you get kind of best of both worlds, where you'll be able to talk about the jobs that you worked at. So you'll have your job history in reverse chronological order, just like they're used to always seeing. But instead of focusing in on like your day to day, you're focusing just on your skills from those positions. So you'll be able to highlight where like how you develop those skills. Just need a couple of sentences for each one. Having 2 to 3 bullets for each position is completely fine. And this one, you are definitely going to want to make sure that you have an objective statement on it, because if there's a gap or there's anything going on, you really want to be able to sell yourself as much as possible, because people will look at your resume before they look at your cover letter, if you need to send a cover letter at all, since more companies are walking away from cover letters. So hybrid gives you really the best visibility between those three, and being able to explain a gap a little bit better and being able to highlight what your skills are. So those are the three major resumes in a nutshell. I know that there's, you know, it gets a little bit overwhelming because it seems like, oh my gosh, there's so many different options out there. I don't know what's right for me. I want to always give you this content so that you know what's out there, so you can make the right choices for you. I would love for you to get a resume review if you wanted one, but I want you to be able to do a lot of this on your own too. So this is just to help you really figure out what's the best option, so that when you have your resume out there, you have the best chance of a hiring manager being able to see it, love it, and give you a call for an interview. Okay, guys, have a great day.